Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from Hotspotting. Where do you think the best city to invest in real estate in 2018 might be? Well, according to the results of a new survey, that city is Brisbane. The survey is being conducted by Property Investment Professionals of Australia, PIPA. They do this survey every year, and it's worth noting that same time last year, and the equivalent survey also nominated Brisbane as the best place to buy property last year, and it's worth noting that overall Brisbane house prices rose only about 3%, depending on which research source you believe. So Brisbane has actually been predicted by a number of observers and forecasters, including this survey for the last couple of years, to be a good performer in real estate. It hasn't done it yet. But property investors still believe that Brisbane is the city where we're going to see a rise in the real estate market. I think they're probably going to be right eventually. I think the reason why Brisbane hasn't performed to date is because the underlying state economy has not been particularly strong. Traditionally, Queensland's a strong economy, and it has been in the past. No doubt will be again in the future, but just in the last few years it's underachieved, partly because the resources sector has been weak. But there is strong evidence that the Queensland economy is improving. It's creating jobs in large numbers. The resources sector is coming back strongly. Agriculture is strong. Tourism is strong. And the interstate migration figures are favouring Queensland, particularly southeast Queensland. Again, Queensland had the biggest net gain in interstate migration in the last 12 months of all the states and territories. So, not surprising perhaps that property investors who realise that the party in Sydney is pretty much over and that Melbourne's also past its peak and is winding down. So they're turning their attention to somewhere else, which is perhaps a little bit less pricey and with better rental yields, and Brisbane stands out. According to this survey, 46% of those surveys rated Brisbane as the best capital city for investment prospects in 2018, a long way ahead of the second pick, which was Melbourne, at about 19%, and then Perth. Interesting that Perth came third in this survey at 15%, and that would be indicative of the fact that more and more investors are starting to realise that Perth, after a period of decline in its market, is now showing strong signs of recovery. The buying there is good now because prices are down, and there are good prospects for growth moving forward. The PIPA chairman, Peter Kaluzos, says that he believes that the property boom will come to Brisbane eventually, but although he's not nominating exactly when it will happen. I think we're going to see improvement in Brisbane this year for all the reasons I mentioned. Population trends are favourable, economic trends are favourable, the affordability differential is favourable, the yields differential is making people think more and more about Brisbane. Just needs that underlying economy to deliver on the promise it's showing, and then I think the Brisbane market will rise. But with the big elephant in the room is the inner city apartment market, which is probably the weakest market in Australia right now. Certainly is in my view. Oversupplied, more tall towers coming out of the ground. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and the values are already falling. But beyond that, out in the big Greater Brisbane area, it's one of the biggest cities in Australia in terms of the geographical area. It spreads far and wide, and some of those affordable markets like Ipswich City, which was recently boosted by a $5 billion contract announced by the federal government last week, Moreton Bay region up in the north, Logan City down the south, plenty of good affordable buying at good rental yields available in markets that are quite active with prospects for capital growth. So we'll see as the year unfolds whether this survey by PIPA, in which 46% of those surveyed rate Brisbane as the best capital city for investment in 2000. We'll see how it pans out as the year goes on. Be interesting to watch. That's it for now. Terry Ryder from Hotspotting. Talk to you again soon, but signing off for now. Bye.